Welcome to Wild Sun Tarot. This is a monthly reading for zodiac sign of Cancer. Welcome to all the Cancers out there. If you have the Cancer zodiac sign in your moon or Venus or ascendant, this is also a reading for you. Please take what resonates and leave what doesn't. Okay, if this is not your reading, all right. You can always book a private reading with me. And let's get into it. Happy birthday to all the Cancers. It's your birthday season, so I hope you have fun. Take it light and easy. I will be shuffling, so if you don't want to watch me shuffle, you can just skip to the part when I'm already explaining the cards, okay? I will give that in the description to where you can scroll. Okay. Okay, not bad so far, not bad. Okay, a few more. Sure you see everything. Okay. Interesting challenge. Okay, so let's begin from the center. In the main energy, which may be your current energy, we have the Hermit. This card is strongly bonded to some type of isolation, okay? So in this month, you may feel like you're a little bit less outgoing, or maybe you just need to take a special time for yourself, okay? Whether you're introverted or extroverted person, this is the card that suggests that some things needs to be worked on within yourself, okay? So this is something that is encouraging you to look within, to find your inner space, to get some answers. You need to, withdraw, okay, from some social settings or maybe contact in general, maybe you need to reboost your energy, and for that you need to be alone with your thoughts, okay? It's a good energy. I think all of us need sometimes to get into the hermit mode, okay? And maybe in this particular month, you're just too overwhelmed with everything outside of your energy that you just really need to calm down and close within yourself. Now, the Hermit is here with the challenge of Ace of Swords. So I think like this month you're searching for some truth, for some answers, okay? It may be that something happened in the past that you quite don't understand, or you felt maybe neglected in some way, and you don't have the answer why. And I think so because you have Queen of Pentacles here in the reverse in the past. So it's an energy of really trying to care for yourself, but in reverse it makes me feel like that was neglected in some way, okay? Maybe you gave more than you got from others. Maybe you just forgot a little bit about your self-care, maybe there was so many things going on around you, work-wise or just social-wise. Maybe you were struggling, it's connected to Queen of Pentacles in that position, with your financials, and right now you just need to withdraw and really get to the bottom of the situation, find the answers why that happened, or maybe even more, find the answers, what can you do next. And I think it's a challenge, okay, because maybe in the past already you tried many things, or maybe you're just in a very confused position. So for you this month it will be a little bit challenging to find the answers for the questions you're looking for, but I think you're putting yourself in a great position when it comes to withdrawing, because those answers are within you, right? So a challenge is to find them. But don't worry, we'll see where we can help. But overall, I think it's a nice it can be a nice month. You can be very fulfilling in the end when you do find that. And keep in mind, Ace of Swords is like a opportunity, okay? So it's an opportunity to find the answer, okay? So if in the past you were confused about many subjects and you were like, well, there's no way I can figure it out, this opportunity show up this month, okay? It is showing up as a challenge, but you know, it's still showing up, so it exists and it's a challenge you can take on. We'll see how. So moving forward, Knight of Pentacles here suggests me that maybe you already had some type of plan, or subconsciously there were ideas that you just maybe you didn't put in on the paper, like I think maybe in the past, or for some reason, you know that you can make a plan and stick into it, okay? Stick to it. So there is that energy of movement. It's a slow movement, but there is that energy of movement in your subconscious. I think the problem and the challenge again is to start, right? You don't know where to start. Maybe you lack some sort of information. You know, I do think that this is a month where you withdraw and you're looking for the answers within, but it's always good to do some networking or ask someone who maybe is a specialist in particular case you're asking for, right? So if it's the finances you're struggling, maybe it's good to take on a financial advice from someone who knows about it, right? Usually that also costs, but it's still less than what it will cost you if you don't change something, right? But that's maybe part of you guys. It doesn't have to be related to finances. It's just like something that I got here. But in general, whatever you were trying to figure out, right? It seems like as long as you find that first, you know, you find out that answer you're looking for, the way is already easy to move. Like, you know the way, you know how to move. You can stick to a plan. You can create a good plan. It won't be, let's say it won't happen in a second, maybe not in July itself, but you can already put out some first steps in July. Because Knight of Pentacles is energy of movement. It's a slow movement, but it's very practical and it's very thought through. So, and you have it in your subconscious energy. So I think you're willing to do something about your situation, right? Again, we're looking for these answers at first. So where you can get it from, the Magician here tells me that you do have a lot of, you're already ready, right? You do have a lot of power within you. And maybe if this is a new task you want to take on, you already done some research, you already have the qualities that they're looking for, but there is some message you're waiting for, right? So maybe that's it as well. I haven't thought about it before, but maybe it's a message you're waiting for to move forward. So right now you're in that stalemate, right? So that isolation with the Hermit, because you're looking for some messages. And when they come with the Magician, it seems like you already have the capacity to move forward. Now, something makes me feel like maybe, well, I don't want to say an excuse, but something similar to it, because excuse seems very like a harsh, big word, but something, I think that maybe you could already move forward, okay, without having that answer, but for some reason you stuck on it. Like, you need some green light, or for someone to tell you one more thing about this particular situation you want to move towards in before you go out of this Hermit mode. Well, you know, this is a challenge, right? This message, because for what I'm seeing so far is that with Knight of Pentacles and the Magician, you already have the capabilities, the, you know, everything you need that to move forward, right? You yourself kind of hang up yourself on that one message. Maybe you don't need that message. Maybe you're ready and you can just move forward with this one thing being unanswered, okay? It also may suggest that this answer, like, it's not really existing. Like, no one can really come and give you that message or answer. You have to give it yourself. Like, you have to be okay with whatever the answer may be within yourself to move forward, okay? And that's why it's a challenge, because it's not something it's not something guaranteed, right? It's something you have to convince yourself of, that you're ready, maybe, okay? So, Yeah, and I strongly get that because you're position yourself here as the Fool in the reverse. So this is an energy that it's kind of like you know, you're almost ready, but you don't want to risk it. You don't want to jump in. You don't want to take that leap of faith because, again, it's not like you know every answer, right, to whatever this question or situation you want to get involved in is asking. So again, you could risk it, right? You could go with the flow. You could take the first step, but you're scared. You're scared that this is too unpredictable, like maybe you can't do it, maybe you don't have enough, right? It's important to this month to remind yourself about all the qualities you do have to, for example, be qualified for it. And I'm speaking very much in the terms of let's say financial or like life in general. But if this is, for example, getting into a relationship or making a new step in the relationship, again, remind yourself about all the circumstances and qualities in which you find yourself within that relationship or with that situationship. And it's always risky to make a step forward without knowing everything. But in most case scenarios, you won't get all the messages and answers. So if you want to speak up to somebody, if the you know you have to take that risk, right? I will get a little bit more in tune with the love messages, let's say, in a moment. Okay, so let's just go through it, and then I'll tell you a little bit more how it can be connected to partnerships. But whatever that is, you're kind of in an impasse because on one side you want to take a leap, you want to go, you want to move, you have the plan ready, you feel like you're ready, you have all the tools you need, but you're still waiting for this one answer or for this clarity of mind. You know, maybe it's just even within you, like, am I ready, can I do this? So it's good to, you know, like meditate on something, and it's good to take your time to not be too risky, but there's an opportunity here, and if you're missing it, right, you may never feel ready. So in this month, I would encourage you to really look into your yourself and look at your life, maybe like make a list of how far I've come, what progress I've made, right? What tools do I have to move forward, and realize that you can, you know, it's the time to move maybe from that hermit state, okay? Yes, so that's the Fool. So the energy around you, it's Seven of Wands. It's an energy of, again, you may have this idea that, you know, people are against you in a way, or people are waiting for your next slip. You know, they're waiting for you to make a mistake. So that's why you, again, like you're holding yourself within that isolation, right? Like, I don't know if I'm ready, what others will think, and da da da, all scenario, right? Because in the end, it doesn't matter really what others may think, because this is your life, this is your doing, and as long as it doesn't depend on a third party opinion, which you're going to do, right? Like, I don't know, some executives and stuff like that, you can move forward. And always keep in mind with Seven of Wands is that sometimes we create the vision of ourselves for others that is not really us. So remember to be authentically yourself while doing what you plan to do, okay? And don't try to be pleasing for others, okay? Because then it gets, it's not your energy. Then it gets like, you know, you're pretending to be someone else, and people are, you know, unclear on what you're trying to do. It's never good to pretend or to try to, you know, polish yourself. People like the real, the authentic. So try to remember about that. And again, don't try to not to be fear of that authenticity, of you risking it and maybe making a mistake because you didn't have all the answer. That's what also is like nice part of that journey. If you have all the answers and you won't make any mistakes, you won't learn anything, and then it's kind of pointless to start in the beginning, okay? So you may have this, once again, you may have this idea that people around you are a bit against you, okay? Or that they're watching your every step, that they know you're not ready, like they know you don't have the answer, but it's actually not that deep, okay? People are more focused on themselves in general, so you're good. You don't have to be fearful about that, okay? I know it's easier said than done, but I'm just giving you messages that this is just your perception, okay? So in your hopes and fears, once again, you have the High Priestess in the reverse. All of that may kind of be connected to you having a lot of self-doubt, because you kind of maybe disconnected from whatever it is that you were trying to do, from yourself. So it kind of goes back to the past with the Queen of Pentacles. I feel like maybe for some time, for I don't know, the month of June, or some month in the past, you were a bit neglecting yourself once again. And it doesn't have to be that you were like a typical neglect. I don't know, you weren't like going out or taking a shower, just laying in bed. I'm not even saying about that. You could be very highly productive and still neglecting that spiritual part of yourself, right? And you don't have to be a very spiritual person to neglect that part. It's just about how you are in tune with yourself, okay? So maybe you're just overstimulated with technology, or maybe you're just overstimulated with other people's needs and wants and problems, and you haven't really looked into yourself and check in with yourself for a while. And this actually could give you, maybe that's where all those fears come from as well, because when we are not sure of where we are mentally, right, like how we feel for a few days, like really when we're not in tune with what's happening inside, we can get a little bit paranoid about outside, right, and doubt ourselves, because well, you're disconnected, right? So it's kind of like, think about it, if you haven't seen your friend for a very long time, you're not sure how they would react because you feel disconnected from them. So it's kind of like that within yourself, because you haven't seen yourself for some time. Okay, so it's important to go back to that, okay? Now, there's Two of Cups here in the nearest future. This card, again, at first I thought a little bit more romantically, but taking the romantic aspect of it aside, Two of Cups also talks about this connection between two energies. And once again, it can be connection even within yourself. So even though it's usually a card that is talking about the connection with other, I feel like here with this High Priestess and the Hermit, it's again about you finding your other half within you, okay? So it's kind of like the Chariot. It's connecting this yin yang energy within you. Maybe for some reason in the past you had to give a lot to others, or you had to really tune in into your quote unquote feminine energy, so like a giver and a listener and doer for others. And now maybe you need to check in within your masculine, so to be more action oriented within yourself, maybe talk more than listen, right? Or vice versa, depending on your situation. But it strongly suggests that going into the future, you need to focus on that connection, okay? Maybe that's the answer, maybe that's the answer you will find. It's a challenge because it's hard to understand by ourselves, right, what is happening. It would be easier if you could go to a doctor and they would give you a pill for that, and yeah, it seems easier, but actually no. What you're doing during July, the Hermit mode, the closing in, the finding the answers from within, it's way better, and it will last for longer, right? It will teach you more and it will help you grow. And the outcome, we have the Chariot in the reverse. So once again, I think this whole July, this whole reading for this month, it's about trying to prepare for the start line. Okay, Chariot talks about travel and moving and going within, going with a clear what's it called, like a goal. Going without a clear goal. Okay, so I think that all this is kind of preparing you for some strong movement at the end of July, okay? So, and I feel like you're capable of that. But once again, looking at your past and the energies kind of within you, it seems like you really need to focus on what you need and how you can join those energies and connect to yourself so you can move forward. And once again, if I will supposed to give you like a strict advice, I would say that you should really, well, meditation is always good by connecting with yourself, right? Being alone and actively being alone, not distracting yourself with different stuff, is also good. Sometimes even sitting and breathing, right? And this magician, he's also in like a you know, meditative position. He is creating as well. You know, magician has all the tools, and usually we think like, oh, he's ready, but on this particular deck he's already creating. So maybe some time for creativity, whatever that is for you, you know, either if it's just like dancing along or singing along or writing something down, would help you within finding that balance again. Okay, finding that balance again. Try to write down the dreams you have during July. Maybe they will also lead you to these answers you're seeking. Okay, so that's more or less the energy that I'm seeing here. I will pull out for you as well some oracle cards. So let's see what the oracle have to say. I think this is not that that strong of a, let's say, problem. Like, I don't want to, you know, I think that this is something you can deal with, and I think it's a beautiful beginning for a next step in your journey. Okay, and I'm sorry because I already pulled out the oracle, but for those who were looking for some maybe love messages, I know a lot of people are watching tarot for that. I don't see particularly any new love coming in that time, because I think you're focusing very much on yourself. If you're waiting for a message from someone, I think that again, it's important to think about your needs. So if this particular person weren't taking care of your needs in the past, well, maybe the no message is the message, right? I wouldn't really hang up on an individual like that, because you don't need that. You don't need to give to someone, right? And with Two of Cups in the reverse in the future, maybe someone has a really good intentions, maybe they're a great person, but they just cannot join you at the moment or give you what you need at the moment, and you shouldn't lower in your standards, okay, for someone to meet them. So I think I would not wait, okay? I would be bold and just live your life. So if you're you know, either looking for different connections or focusing on yourself, that's, I think, a better option. I don't see really anything more relating that, okay? I feel like the rest of the reading was strongly connected to either financial or self-growth, so that's what we're focused on. Now, the oracle card, we have a time to give rather than take. Well, that's an interesting message, because as I mentioned in the beginning, I would say that it's the time when you can you know, you should focus on how much you receive, right? So with the time to give rather than take, I would say is to give to yourself, okay? I think there's this new moon in Virgo, which is not coming in yet, but this is the message. Maybe this is the time where you already feel a little bit more balanced, and you would be able to, you know, build something new on what you've already got, right? But first you need to, again, find that balance within yourself, right? So to give to yourself, okay? And be really focused about the inside part of yourself. I have one more oracle messages. These cards are a little bit bigger. It's Cosmovision Oracle. Some cards so you can meditate on. So I pull one. If you want, you can stop the reading and meditate on one of these cards. Oops. Okay, let's take one. Let's see this one. Okay, so we have always a picture here, beautiful swan. And it's like a mirror, right? So again, it's a look within yourself, right? To really see yourself clearly. It's very beautiful. And you know, swans are very majestic, so they're always like viewed by others, right? So we like to look at them, and you know, I would say that they're also animals who like attention, but looking really within yourself and seeing yourself by your own eyes, not the eyes of others, is also equally important, right? So, the crow delivers your soul to the swan. You see the majestic creature as she floats effortlessly across the glassy water, scattering droplets in elegant patterns. She's at peace with her existence and understands that which is buried deep in the mind. She's your guardian for all important magical transitions and reconnections. With grace and warmth, she unlocks your unconscious and reunites it with your conscious. As she drifts to the melody of the universe, everything comes swirling back to you in a brilliant flash. You feel more connected to yourself than ever before. Beautiful. So I can put it a little bit more close to the camera. If you want, you can take a screenshot or, just stop video if you're watching on YouTube. So that's beautiful. That's exactly what I was trying to tell you. This is the message. You should connect yourself to yourself. And this is a perfect time to do so during July. And I hope you will make it happen. And I wish you all the best. So happy birthday, Cancer.